Hey everybody, I figured I would come on here for a TTC update. I have not done that in a while. There are reasons why I haven't done that in a while, mostly because not a whole lot has been going on. But I kind of figured it's time since I'm trying to get back into the swing of YouTube. I do have that Bent Go Kids review coming up. We had some craziness the last week and a half, so I have to edit it and then get it up. So that being said, I will try and get that up in the next couple of days. My husband and I decided that for the last year and a half, we have been trying naturally, and we've talked a lot lately about where we're going to go with TTC because the kids are going to be 6 in October. And neither one of us really wanted a huge age gap with our kids. We wanted them kind of close together. But seeing as we adopted them at 3 years old, that was a little bit more difficult. So we talked a little bit about whether we were going to adopt again, whether we would do foster care, if we're going to just keep trying naturally, if we were going to go for one more round of IUI or IVF. And kind of what it came down to was, while we would both love to adopt again, we would really want to stick with foster to adopt again, but we would want to foster to adopt a very, very low risk case, because we kind of left that one a little bit ambiguous, but we did decide that we probably would not do a straight out adoption. So we decided we would continue trying until the meds that we have left over from IVF were going to expire, and then we would talk a little bit more. Well, the meds from IVF that we have left over are going to expire in the next few months here. So we talked a little bit more whether we were going to do another IVF, and we decided no. So we talked about doing another IUI. So we decided we would go ahead and do another IUI probably around October, maybe November, but we thought we were going to go ahead and do that. You know, I was calling around, making sure I could get appointments and all of that, make sure that I remembered what the costs were properly, and just to kind of let my doctors know to be expecting a call from us to schedule all this. My first day of this cycle was August 5th, and as we all, well, I don't know, if you're new to my channel, you don't know, but if you're not new to my channel, you know that I don't ovulate on time. I always ovulate a bit late. This time I ovulated on cycle day 21. So, you know, I figured I probably wouldn't test until this Tuesday that just passed, so yesterday, and I would kind of leave it at that. Well, last week on Thursday, so this past week and a half or so has just been crazy. I got really sick, and just for a day or so, and then I was fine. My husband was out of town, and he's back, and then the dog got sick, so we were in and out of vet appointments all week last week. My daughter had some PT appointment that she needed to make. I stepped up and decided to be the school treasurer, and it's just been kind of crazy. So last Thursday, I had a couple things going on. I asked my husband if he could work from home. He did. And he went to take a shower, and I had to go pick up the kids. And I don't know what I was thinking. I was only 10 DPO. Don't know what I was thinking. But middle of the day, not holding my pee, having drank a bunch of water, I took a test. And then I said goodbye to my husband, who didn't know that I took a test. And I drove to school to get the kids, and within, I called my friend and I said, I'm insane. Why did I do this? Why did I test? Because it's only 10 days past ovulating. That was stupid. It's not going to show anything, even if it is positive. And then I looked it on my test by the time I got to the school, which was about 7 minutes later, and there was a line. It was light, but there was a line, and I was like, holy crap, there's a line. And she goes, no way. When I got home, my husband had a meeting to go to, So I utilized that time while the kids were napping, and I took a digital and it said pregnant 1 to 2. Now I have some leftover clear blue digital indicator, weeks indicator tests from before they were recalled. So I trusted that, but I couldn't believe it. I emailed my doctor. The next morning I still hadn't heard from her. I had taken another test. It was getting darker. And usually she emails within a couple hours, even if it's nighttime. When she wasn't emailing back by about 11, I emailed my regular physician and asked if she would order a pregnancy test, HCG. So she did, and I went and got my beta at about 1 o'clock on Friday with progesterone. My OBGYN did get a hold of me, and she said, go ahead and use that, and then we'll do a repeat on Sunday. So I was expecting something really, really low because I was only 11 days past ovulation, and I never have great numbers. I was waiting on pins and needles, and my numbers came back at progesterone was 16, and my beta was 26, which my beta at 14 days past with IVF was 12. This was really good, and my lines were getting darker. On Saturday, I took another test. Line was still getting darker. Digitals were still saying pregnant 1 to 2. Saturday, I called the advice line just to make sure that the HCG order was in the computer because I didn't want to go in and then have there be an issue. And she said it wasn't in the computer. So to wait until Tuesday, and she would email my doctor and all this stuff. Yeah, I was just kind of freaking out. Sunday I took another test, got really dark in the morning, and then I took one, I don't know why, in the afternoon, and it got a little bit lighter, and that I was crushed. I was just totally crushed. I totally thought that was it, that was ending. I tested later that night, and it was a bit darker, but not as dark as the morning. So again, I was just kind of like, well, that's obviously it. I'm losing it. It's going to be over. Monday, I tested again, and it got darker again. Like, well, maybe it's just because I was drinking water or something. I didn't hold it long enough, something to that effect. I took another digital. I know, I'm crazy. I fully get that. It popped up the pregnant fairly quickly, and then it took forever to pop up the weeks indicator, and it did pop up 1 to 2. So at that point, I was the mental games, right? I was going, okay, is it trying to decipher whether it should put the knot up, or is it trying to decipher whether I have enough HCG to go to the 2 to 3? But I thought that was totally, totally ridiculous. And then I got an email from my doctor saying that the blood work order was in. Go ahead in and take that blood work, and she would email me as soon as she got into the office with the blood work. I had to wait till Tuesday morning, which kind of sucked, but I kind of expected that. I did get my progesterone redraw level back that night, and it went down to 13.8. So I had decided that I was going to talk to her about going on progesterone just to make sure that I'm not going to lose anything because of faulty progesterone. And then she called me on Tuesday morning with my number, and I was just freaked out. I was, expecting about 75. If my numbers had been doubling properly, about 75. And she said, okay, I was on the phone with the nurse. She said, okay, let's schedule your ultrasound. Let's schedule your first phone appointment. And I said, I know you're not the doctor, so I don't know if you can tell me, but if the results for the HCG are there, can you tell me? Because they haven't been released online, so I can check them. And she said, yeah, hold on 1 second. And she said, okay, the numbers look really good, and it's 125. And like, you're kidding, right? That can't be me. That has to be somebody else's. And she said, no, this is your name, this is your medical record number, it's 125. And my jaw nearly hit the floor. I could not believe it. I was totally ecstatic, totally shocked. I just couldn't believe it. I had questions about the progesterone. My first phone appointment was supposed to be on Thursday, and she said, I don't know the answers to the progesterone questions, so since you have questions, let's just move the phone appointment up to today, and then let's figure out your ultrasound appointment. So my first ultrasound is scheduled for the 24th of this month. I'll be 6 weeks and 2 days, so hopefully things going well. And that's it. Do you have any questions? And I was like, probably about 1 million, including how in the world did that happen? Numbers wise, everything was looking great. My tests were still getting darker, and everything is scheduled. Yesterday I came home and I made some fortune cookies. My husband really likes Panda Express, so I made some fortune cookies with little fortunes in them. I'll maybe upload footage if I can, but 3 of them said things like, the best things in life come in small packages. What else did I say? Flattery will get you far in the coming months, and random acts of kindness will soon be in order. So we opened those 3 kind of together, and then I handed him one that was in a different color pen, and when he opened it, it said, "Congratulations, Daddy, baby number 3 due May 17th." It was a very him response. No like screaming or shouting or jumping up and down. It was very, very much my husband, the computer guy. So it was kind of funny. Before I had revealed to him, I decided that I was going to take a test because he was probably going to want to see. This was Monday evening's test. So this was about 125 HCG. Thought I was all out of my Clear Blue digitals, and like I said, on Monday, I did one more digital because I just needed to see the word before going to bed, and it popped up pregnant 1 to 2, and so I took this yesterday on Tuesday, and it popped up pregnant 2 to 3, and I want this to stay forever and ever and ever, but there's that. So I know this video is getting really long, and I apologize. I do, but that's kind of the nature of a 4-week pregnancy vlog, especially a surprise one. Anyway, symptoms-wise, I haven't had a whole lot. Last week for a couple days, my boobs were just totally sore. Didn't want anybody or anything to touch them, probably for 2 days, and then they've been fine since. That I'm assuming will come back at some point, but not there right now. I was a little bit tired, nothing major. That was kind of it, though. Like I said, a week and a half ago-ish, I was really sick, but I don't know if that had anything to do with this. My husband and I went on a lunch date on Saturday, and he was driving around the corners in the parking garage, and when we were doing the corners, I was just like, oh God, just stop. And he didn't know at that point, so it's like, are you okay? I said, you're just taking those corners kind of fast, and it's making me kind of nauseous. And like, I'm so sorry. I did take another beta today. I haven't gotten the results back yet. I have been tired, and that's about it. I have been having some light cramping off and on, but I wouldn't really describe it as cramping. I just kind of feel like, I guess it's cramping. Just really lightly off and on, very intermittent, doesn't last very long. But I do feel like I feel like my uterus is just kind of heavy. There's something kind of heavy sitting on my pelvic bone. Surprise! I'm pregnant, due May 17th. I will upload a video talking about what we've done through this year, why we weren't getting pregnant, possibly how we got pregnant. It's not a guarantee. It's not a promise for anybody, but I will upload a video about anything different that we did, anything that I think may have contributed to this, and then I will keep you guys all updated. Stay tuned, and my weeks turn over on Tuesdays, so my videos will more than likely be on Tuesdays, and I will go over the previous week. I will talk to you all later. If you got to the end of this, you deserve a cookie or a piece of cake, and go for it. Bye.